Hello guys, now you may remember that I did a in-depth discussion on Martin Scorsese's Casino a while back, which a lot of people seem to like, and I also done a discussion on Ingmar Bergman's film Fanny and Alexander, so I wanted to do another in-depth discussion because people seem to like them. What better film than Goodfellas from 1990? Now, this video is just going to be me going off, just talking about the film, a film I absolutely love, and just going, riffing on the film. I mean, it's one of the greatest films ever made. One of my favourite films of all time. Please let me know what you think of it in the comments and we can discuss it. I think Goodfellas is the magnum opus of Martin Scorsese. It really is. It has everything that he has ever done in film all in one, but really compact, really put together nicely. Great pace, there's no filler in the film. You could say that Casino is a bit too long, I guess. But Goodfellas is really, everything fits together. It's a really charging film. It's never boring. It's a wonderful snapshot of 3 decades in the mafia. So the first thing to talk about is, of course, the performances. All of them are full of attitude, swagger, believability. These actors take you on a roller coaster ride, and their acting really goes along with how Scorsese chooses to show the highs and lows of the gangster life. So much emotion, so much energy. So you've got Ray Liotta as Henry, who's the main character, who has the voiceover in the film. And he is more reserved. It's a reserved performance, but it's still a performance full of charisma from Ray Liotta, real rock star presence. He's probably the calmest of all the gangsters and the most human, but he loves the charm of it all. Got such a Hollywood look in this. He looks like a movie star. He really does, and he keeps the character somewhat likeable. You've got Robert De Niro in a really measured and intense performance. It's almost conventional De Niro, but there's a sense of underlying mystery about Jimmy Conway, his character. Just a very bizarre character, actually. You never know what he's thinking. He's not as vicious as we're going to go on to talk about Joe Pesci's character, but you get the feeling he could be. There's a real sense of intrigue to his character, and again, it's just full of this incredible charisma from Robert De Niro. What else would you expect? Joe Pesci is electrifying in the film. Every scene he's in, it is literally the sole example of these gangsters who we hear about. It's what you envision, basically, is Joe Pesci. The unpredictability, the viciousness, the violence. And Pesci's just such a sensational actor at capturing you when he's on screen. You can't look away. I mean, I found that he still hasn't lost it. The Irishman, he still has this presence. The screen presence is phenomenal. The charisma is phenomenal. The delivery, everything about him. And obviously the motivations of the characters all actually seem to be different, because you've got Ray Liotta, who's basically just in there for the desire for more. He just doesn't want to live a regular life. He wants to be able to spend what he wants, get what he wants. And you can sort of sympathise with his desperation. Obviously he takes the wrong route. It's a universal truth in humans that we tend to not be ever satisfied with what we've got, and it is a journey that we all have to overcome, because you'll never get enough. And that is something you learn in Goodfellas. Like Henry Hill, he's still addicted to the chase for more. He keeps being self-destructive because he realises it's actually not satisfying him. He has to keep chasing that thrill and that spectacle and that celebrity and that rock star. He can't just get it and then stop. He keeps getting drawn back in. And that's what it is. It's sort of the most human performance is Ray Liotta, then the most human character is Henry Hill. And obviously De Niro, he's in there, he's trying to keep things chugging along. He's got different reasons than Henry. He is literally a criminal. He is a killer, but he's a low-key killer. He tries to keep things on the down low at least, but again, he's addicted to the chase. He's addicted to the thrill. He does it in a way that you won't expect him to get caught, but he still will take the risks. And obviously you've got Joe Pesci as Tommy, who just has no limits. He is fully immersed in this lifestyle. There is no way back for this character. He has completely stepped over that line of no return. And he is there because he wants people to fear him, pretty much. he's there because he's a self-destructive person. And the best character moments are Joe Pesci in this film. When Tommy questions Henry in a fake interrogation and Henry thinks that he's being serious. That is just an ultimate example of you're always on the edge with Tommy. You never know if he's serious or not, and he probably could cross over that line if that scenario gone a bit differently. There's one scene where Tommy meets his old boss. His boss comes back and he starts, putting in little jabs at Tommy and insulting him for what he used to be, and then Tommy literally kills him. That is a fantastic scene because everyone anticipates what's going to happen. Ray Liotta locks the door, De Niro joins in. It's just an example of if someone is questioning what Tommy is, he will kill them. And that's what it is. He's created this kind of image about him that he feared me, respect me, that's all I care about. And he literally kills this guy. Even if he's going to incur the wrath of other members of the mafia, which he does, he's still willing to do that. There's just such a spark in Tommy. There's such an energy in Tommy, a complete lack of self-awareness and a complete burning volcano inside of him. That scene is so fantastic as well. Scorsese plays this wonderful song over the top of it while they're kicking the shit out of this mob boss, and it just sends home the message of the despicable nature of these characters. We see a lot in the film of glamorization of it. I wouldn't use glamorization, just showing the spectacle of it, showing how you can be seduced by it. But then there are moments where Scorsese will show these guys are the scum of the earth. They sacrifice their humanity. They will kill each other for one comment here and there. And there's certain moments in this film where Scorsese creates that sense of compartmentalization and normalization for these guys. They will just do these things and then carry on with their lives. It even admitted by the voiceover of Henry that it just all became normal, it all became everyday and usual. You've also got Karen in the film, played by Lorraine Bracco as Henry's wife, and she's a woman seduced by spectacle, by the swagger of Henry. She's kind of victim of the whole piece, but there's also a real love between Henry and Karen, and it's a love that's full of grey areas. It's not black and white. And again, Scorsese's a director who always shows the grey areas, always looks at things not through black and white. These people are bad, yes, but they also have the human emotions of us. This is just the way their path has led them. A lot of the stuff in this film, you see Karen being a victim, really. She's not really choosing to engage in any of this stuff. It's a fascinating portrayal of a path that we can go down if we carry on. We just don't choose to question it. Are we that evil for going down the path? Are we just not thinking? Are we just letting ourselves be carried away? Are we just self-destructive? And Scorsese is a fascinating director at examining that. Another example of the compartmentalization of this lifestyle is when the guys visit Tommy's mother and they have a body outside in their car. They're able to have this meal with her with a dead body outside. What I like about this scene is you can see a bit of concern in Liotta because he holds on to a bit of humanity. He sometimes has a look on his face like, what am I doing with these guys? I just want to have some nice drinks, have a nice lifestyle, but these guys are killing and these guys are this and that. So yeah, there's different levels of compartmentalization, different levels of justifying things and looking at things. And De Niro even looks a bit concerned, but then he cracks a joke. It's like they each have their way of dealing with it. Tommy's way is just go full force, don't give a shit about anything. De Niro's way, I guess, is try and keep things under wraps, care, but if things happen, they happen, and make jokes about it. And Henry is almost like he's on that edge of, do I really want to be involved in this, but I'll stay in it because of the benefit. Scorsese gives this film a real intensity. You will always feel the pressure, and you are involved in this overwhelming bubble these people are stuck in. There's a lot of swagger, and he doesn't shy away of showing the appeal, the celebrity, the grandiose, the lifestyle. One of the best scenes for this is when the camera follows Henry as he takes Karen round the back of a restaurant, and he says hello to everyone as he's walking through. It just gives this real rock star feeling and spectacle, and you can tell, you completely realise why Karen would be swept up in there. And it is a pleasant scene, there's pleasant music over the top, and the whole scene leaves you swept up like Karen, but in quite a nice way by what we see. So there are moments where Scorsese likes to show the pleasant side of things, not even have an underlying sense of dread. He wants to show you, this is what can happen, this can be the celebrity, this can be the nice side of things. We have to have that to show you how these people could be seduced by it. And then there's the use of the Rolling Stones in certain scenes. Scorsese does well to create moods when he needs to. So when the Stones play, it's when schemes are going on, when bad behaviour, when we see the dark side, drugs, when Henry is trying to uphold all his gangster tasks. It always feels on edge, like it could implode at any point when we hear the Stones, and it creates a real sense of culmination. And the longer the film goes on, it eventually does start to close in on itself. It starts to feel overwhelming. There's this feeling of not necessarily dread, but uncertainty, unpredictability, through music, through close-up, through the actor's eyes, the body language, the colours, the shots. He just builds up the danger, whether it's looking up at Karen pointing a gun at Henry, or Liotta's close-ups of him caught up in the moment, almost in a demented fashion, or looking tense as he now has to complete a bunch of tasks. It's almost as if Scorsese manages to create underlying build-up, going to the top of a hill ready to just go straight down. And in the final few scenes, it is that push. And you realise these men are brought into their own hype. They don't have any limits to what they think they can accomplish. So the drugs have caught up, and the pressure has caught up, but they're still holding on to the lifestyle. And there starts to be this real frenzy in the last few scenes, this real panic for Henry, because he realises he has to get things done, but he's now got so deep into drugs, got so deep into lifestyle, things are going to fall apart. They're on the edge. And I also love the scene when things all start to get wrapped up and everyone starts to either get whacked or caught. I love the piano music that plays as the camera guides us into a meat truck and we see a frozen gangster, and we see people who have been shot in the head in cars. The piano music's almost happy, but for me it's like a bittersweet taste of medicine music. But at the same time, look what's happened to these people. Even though they were bad, we should probably have sympathy at how it's all ended up. So the music and the style and direction almost fills you with a sense of disappointment, but justice as well. And sometimes upbeat music delivers in that sense. And the final film we'll talk about is the close-ups throughout the film. I think it's a wonderfully simple way Scorsese manages to make this film so memorable. He just has several close-ups of the characters, freeze frames, and it gives the characters such a celebrity edge. There's timeless images of Pesci and De Niro and Liotta when they're introduced. It gives the film this nostalgic quality, it gives the characters a sense of importance and a sense of cool. And I love how it's just so simply done. I think Scorsese's found so many ways in film to captivate, but he hasn't reinvented the wheel. He's just modified and he's zeroed in and he's given an edge to regular filmmaking. The film is brimming with entertainment, heat, pressure, passion, but I feel the way he shows the downfall, just as he does in Casino, proves to me that he's never trying to glamorise this life. After watching Goodfellas or Casino, the whole movie, you don't end up wanting to be a gangster because you have seen the whole picture. It might be easy to be seduced, but when you see the whole thing, you realise in the end it would never pay off and it was not the right thing to do morally or for any reason. And Scorsese's so good at that. He's so good at wrapping up an entire story and having you sit there and reflect. I absolutely love Goodfellas. It's one of the greatest films of all time. Let's talk about it in the comments. What's your favourite scene? What's your favourite character? What's your favourite performance? All that stuff. Let me know if there's any films you want to hear me do in-depth discussions on. It's a series I want to get going on this channel. I want to do some more gangster films. Maybe I'll do the Long Good Friday or something like that. Please subscribe to my movie obsession for reviews, rankings, geeky discussion and nostalgia. I will see you guys next time.